Must watch. Never tell a woman these 7 things. It kills attraction instantly. Modern Stoic. Welcome back to the channel. This is the place where men learn how to lead in relationships instead of seeking validation. If you're tired of being the guy women lose interest in after a short time, or you've ever wondered what went wrong after everything seemed perfect, this video will show you exactly what to avoid. Let's clarify one thing. First attraction is emotional, not logical. Women don't always give you direct feedback on what turns them off. Often, they simply feel a shift and grow distant. One moment she's into you and the next, she's cold. Why? Because of something you said? That's the fragility of attraction when you don't understand how women think and feel. Today, we're going to reveal the 7 dangerous things men say that instantly turn off a woman's desire. If you've said any of these before, don't worry, you're not the only one. But after watching this, you'll be equipped to do better and keep the spark alive. Let's get into it. One, tell me how to be better. Saying, "Tell me how to be better," may seem like an honest pursuit of self-improvement, but let's cut through the fluff. It's a glaring sign of emotional weakness. When you ask a woman to show you how to improve, you're essentially admitting you don't trust yourself to lead your own life. You're placing your growth, your direction, and your identity in her hands. That's not only unattractive, it's downright weak. Modern Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-mastery, and asking someone else to define you shows you've lost control over your own narrative. Women aren't attracted to men who constantly look for validation or permission to be better. They want a man who already knows who he is, who's clear about his path and leads his own life with confidence and purpose. Let's face it, when you ask her for directions on how to become a better man, you're not showing humility or self-awareness. You're signaling that you lack the internal strength and self-discipline required for leadership. Women want a partner, not a project. They want to walk beside a man who is solid in his identity, who isn't floundering around waiting for someone else to decide who he should be. There's nothing attractive about someone who expects their partner to coach them, teach them, or, worse, raise them up. This creates a dynamic where you're not a strong, equal partner. You're the emotional equivalent of a needy child. The truth is, too many men fall into this trap, thinking that being emotionally available or asking for help is a sign of love. But in reality, it's an escape from taking responsibility for your own growth. You're avoiding the hard work of defining yourself, building your own strength, and creating a future. This emotional laziness is the death of attraction. Women don't want to be in a relationship where they have to micromanage their partner's self-development. They want to be with someone who already has his own clarity and drive. So here's the cold truth. If you find yourself asking a woman how to be better, you're telling her you don't believe in yourself. You're outsourcing your self-worth. Men, this is your wake-up call. Stop looking for external validation. You need to find your own sense of identity through challenge, growth, and introspection. It doesn't matter if you're still figuring things out. Just do it privately. In your own time. Become the man you're meant to be without using your partner as a crutch. Real attraction isn't about constantly seeking approval. It's about being authentic, strong, and clear in who you are. The blessing of Stoicism lies in developing that internal strength and control. When you take ownership of your life and stop asking for permission or guidance, that's when you start becoming the man who's truly worth following. And when you do that, she won't need to tell you how to be better. You'll naturally attract her respect and admiration. Real masculinity comes from leading yourself first. Stop asking for validation and start living with purpose. That's the only way to build real, lasting attraction. In the words of the old Stoic, the greatest victory is the victory over oneself. Now go out and make that victory yours. 2. You complete me. Never tell a woman, "You complete me." It kills attraction instantly. We've all heard the line. It's been immortalized in rom-coms, spoken by actors who make it sound poetic, even profound. But here's the hard truth. If you say, "You complete me," to a woman in real life, you might as well be handing her a red flag. Why? Because the message you're sending is dangerous, and it doesn't just hurt attraction, it can kill it outright. What are you really saying? When you tell a woman, "You complete me," you're not sharing some profound emotional truth. What you're actually saying is, "Without you, I'm not whole." Now, let's pause right here. Think about that for a second. That's the definition of emotional instability. The idea that you need another person to complete you signals a lack of self-sufficiency. You're admitting that without her, you would be empty, incomplete, or, worse yet, broken. That's not romantic. It's emotionally dependent, and dependency is not an attractive quality. Women are attracted to men who are grounded in who they are. It's not about arrogance or pretense. It's about knowing yourself, having a clear sense of purpose, and being confident in your identity. When you say, "You complete me," you're essentially saying that you're emotionally fragile without her presence in your life. This isn't love. It's a need, a dependency. Stoicism teaches us that a man should stand firm and self-reliant. You must find fulfillment within yourself. A Stoic life requires resilience, independence, and the knowledge that you are complete before entering a relationship. Without these Stoic lessons, you risk becoming emotionally entangled, losing your sense of self in the process. If she's the one who completes you, where does that leave you in the shadow of her existence, not fully alive on your own? The pressure of completing someone. Here's the kicker. When you place the responsibility of completing you on her, you create unnecessary pressure. You're not allowing her to choose you because she wants to. Instead, you're making her feel like she has to be there for you to feel whole. This isn't about mutual love, it's about obligation. And guess what? Women don't want to feel like they're holding your world together. They want to feel wanted, not needed. When she feels like she's carrying the weight of your emotional stability, it drains her. Attraction. Gone. What she really wants. Now, here's the part most men miss. A woman doesn't want to be your missing piece. She wants to be part of your already complete, fulfilling life. She wants to add value, not to provide it. Think about it. She wants to be with you, not to fix you. Women are naturally drawn to men who are self-assured, who have a life of their own that they've already built. It's not about merging identities or losing yourself in the other person. It's about building something stronger together. The Stoic mindset teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions, thoughts, and emotions. Your worth isn't defined by another person's presence. It's defined by how you live your life, and that's what a woman wants to join, a strong, already established, independent life. There's a dangerous trap many men fall into. They think that love is about merging with their partner, becoming one entity, inseparable, almost indistinguishable. But here's the catch. This creates codependency, not passion. True passion comes from two people who stand solidly in their own power, coming together to create something bigger, not from a place of emotional desperation or need. When you say, "You complete me," she starts to question if you ever had a complete life of your own to begin with. It's a subtle but powerful shift in her perception. What once felt like romance now feels like an emotional burden. Over time, she'll pull away, not because she doesn't like you, but because she doesn't feel that grounded masculine presence that initially drew her to you. And when that happens, attraction fades. Fast. Listen up. You were born complete. You don't need anyone to make you whole. You don't need to be rescued or completed. A relationship should be built on two complete people coming together to create something stronger than they could on their own. That's how you maintain respect, desire, and most importantly, attraction. The Stoic life emphasizes autonomy and emotional resilience. It teaches us to find contentment in ourselves, not in others. When you've internalized this, you'll no longer feel the need to seek validation through your partner. Instead, you'll be the strong, stable, and attractive man she desires. Never, ever tell a woman, "You complete me," it's not romantic, it's a red flag. Show her that you're already whole, already strong, and already capable. Let her add to your life, not carry it. That's how you build a relationship based on respect, attraction, and mutual admiration. A woman will always choose a man who chooses himself first, someone who knows that his value doesn't depend on her presence. Be that man. Do you agree with this point of view? Leave a message in the comment section below. It would be great if I could share with you the story and what we encountered. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Share with those who need it. 3. Please don't hurt me. When it comes to relationships, your strength is everything. The moment you say, "Please don't hurt me," you're not only revealing deep insecurity, but also signaling a lack of emotional resilience. Women are attracted to strength, both physical and emotional. When you beg, you're begging for something more dangerous, pity. You're telling her that you're fragile, that you've been hurt before, and now you're afraid of it happening again. Its vulnerability has been taken too far. You see, relationships involve risk. Yes, anyone can get hurt, but the difference lies in how you handle it. If you enter a relationship already expecting pain, you project an image of weakness. And that's exactly what kills attraction. You place emotional responsibility on her, asking her to promise she won't let you down, but you're giving her the power to decide your emotional fate. This isn't about trust, it's about fear, and it's the kind of energy that suffocates attraction. A woman wants to feel safe. Yes, but she wants to feel safe with a man who can stand firm on his own. She doesn't want to feel the pressure of managing your emotional well-being. She needs someone who is emotionally stable, someone who can roll with the punches of life without crumbling. That's where the Stoic principles come into play. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the mindset you need. Life's setbacks, including the pain of relationships, should only serve to strengthen you, not break you. By saying, "Please don't hurt me," you're not showing strength, you're demonstrating an inability to handle pain. Strength isn't in avoiding pain, it's in how you respond to it. Imagine this. You meet a woman, and she feels the connection. There's chemistry, attraction, but in a quiet moment, because you've been hurt before, you say, "Just promise me you won't hurt me." Initially, she may feel a wave of sympathy, but that quickly turns to discomfort. Why? Because you've just handed her all the emotional weight of the relationship. You've shifted the dynamic from mutual attraction to emotional dependence. She begins to question if you're someone who can handle the inevitable ups and downs of life, someone who can handle rejection, disappointment, or loss. Instead of feeling excitement, she feels fear, not of what you might do, but of what you might expect from her. The relationship takes a hit because she starts to see you as emotionally unstable, a man who can't be relied on to handle the challenges of life. Remember, attraction thrives on confidence. Confidence is built on the belief that you can handle life's challenges with resilience, not by asking someone else to carry the burden of your fears. This is where the Stoic mindset truly matters. Embrace emotional resilience. Acknowledge your fears and past wounds privately, but never wear them like a badge. Women are drawn to men who show through their actions that they are capable of handling whatever life throws at them. Stoicism is the only way to live. Anything else is a weakness, said Ryan Holiday. Embrace that mentality. Instead of expecting pain and asking for a promise of safety, show her through your calm, composed actions that you are in control. Show her that you are the man who will handle adversity with dignity, not fear. Real masculinity isn't about seeking assurances or reassurance. It's about proving that you can endure and thrive, no matter what life throws at you. Never let your fears dictate your actions. Be the man who stands tall, who is unshaken by setbacks. Prove your worth through strength, not through vulnerability disguised as insecurity. You must never ask a woman not to hurt you, because what you're really doing is asking her to carry your emotional weight. And that's a burden no one wants to bear. Own your past, embrace the Stoic principles, and become the man who can weather any storm with confidence. That's the kind of man women respect and are drawn to. That's real strength. That's how you master life. 4. I'll do anything for you. Here's the thing when you say, I'll do anything for you. It might sound sweet. It might sound like devotion, but it's a dangerous trap. On the surface, it seems like you're offering love, loyalty, and devotion, but in reality, it screams a lack of boundaries and a desperation to please her at the cost of losing yourself. Let's make this clear. There's nothing wrong with wanting to support her, to protect her, to show you care. That's part of healthy, masculine leadership. But when this devotion becomes limitless, when there are no lines you won't cross, that's when it turns from strength into weakness, disguised as love. The problem with saying, I'll do anything for you, is that it often hides insecurity. What you're actually telling her, whether you know it or not, is, I'll abandon myself to keep you happy. That's not attractive. Women don't want to be in a relationship with a man who has no backbone, no direction, no identity outside of her approval. They don't want a man who's so eager to please that he lets his own values, goals, and aspirations slip away. This doesn't build trust. It creates pressure. The kind of pressure that makes her feel like she's controlling someone who can't stand on his own 2 feet. The moment she senses that kind of energy, the attraction begins to fade. A man who says, I'll do anything for you, is often the man who's afraid of losing her and is trying to buy her loyalty with self-sacrifice. And here's the harsh truth: women may smile when they hear it, maybe even tell you it's sweet, but deep down, it breeds an imbalance. She no longer sees a man who knows his worth. Instead, she sees a man who can be bent, shaped, and molded just to keep her. That's not a partner, that's a servant. And a woman who values herself doesn't want a servant. She doesn't want someone who's always saying yes, always sacrificing, always bending over backward. She wants a man with strength. She wants a partner who can say no when necessary, a man who has a vision, who stands firm, who knows when to walk away. That's what builds true attraction. When you say, I'll do anything for you, you might think you're showing commitment. But what she hears is, I don't know where I end and you begin. That's a sure way to kill attraction. Attraction is built on presence, strength, and the ability to maintain your boundaries. The more solid you are in your own identity, the more she will feel safe and drawn to you. A modern Stoic knows the value of self-respect and personal boundaries. The Blessing of Stoicism teaches us that true love does not require us to lose ourselves. On the contrary, the more you know your worth and stand strong in your principles, the more irresistible you become. The old Stoic wisdom teaches that a man's strength lies in his ability to say no to what does not align with his values. You must set boundaries, know your worth. Do a lot, but never do anything. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 5. You're out of my league. Don't ever say this, not even as a joke, not even once. This simple phrase, "You're out of my league," might sound like a compliment, but it's not. It's a self-inflicted wound, a quiet confession of inferiority. You think you're showing humility? No, you're broadcasting weakness. Stoic lesson number 1. A man who values himself never puts another human on a pedestal, especially someone he's trying to connect with. The moment you crown her a queen, you make yourself the jester. Here's the truth that most men forget. Attraction is energy. It's not just about looks, status, or witty banter. It's about how you carry yourself. And when you tell a woman she's out of your league, you're telling her you believe you're beneath her, whether she agrees or not. Now the seed is planted. It grows in silence. Her respect withers. Her attraction fades. Because attraction isn't about being better or hotter than her. It's about belonging, on equal footing. And a man who truly understands the Stoic life never sees people in leagues. He sees alignment. He sees mutual respect. He brings his presence and calm strength to the table, without apology. Let me tell you something about Stoicism. The Stoic man doesn't beg for validation. He doesn't tremble in the presence of beauty. He doesn't melt at the first sign of attention. He stands tall, not to impress, but because it's who he is. When you tell a woman she's out of your league, you're not admiring her. You're reducing yourself. You've stopped being a potential partner and started acting like a fan, and that shift, it kills desire, instantly. Let's go deeper. Too many men think women want to be flattered endlessly. You're gorgeous. You're amazing. I can't believe you're talking to me. Sound familiar? That's not a charm, Ned. That's insecurity wearing cologne. Don't drown her in praise. Stand beside her in confidence. Because when your admiration turns into self-deprecation, you've crossed a line, and she can feel it. A woman knows when a man sees himself as less than, and no matter how kind she is, attraction can't survive imbalance. The moment you utter that phrase, "You're out of my league," you've created a gap where none existed. You've shattered the illusion of mutual value. You've whispered into her mind, "I don't belong here." And guess what? She starts to believe it. Want to keep attraction alive? Then own your space. Be the kind of man who sees himself as valuable, not because you boast, but because you live it. You don't need to declare your worth out loud when you've already proven it in how you walk, speak, and decide. That's Stoicism in motion. Women are drawn to men who don't flinch around beauty, men who can sit across from a stunning woman and stay grounded. A man who knows who he is doesn't need to apologize for it. He doesn't compare himself. He simply is. So here's your call to arms. Don't downplay yourself. Don't pedestal her. Don't create leagues where none exist. Be grounded. Be calm. Be unshakable. That's the Stoic way. Because the real secret a woman is only out of your league if you act like she is. If you treat her like a prize, she'll treat you like a fan. But if you treat her like a woman, just a woman, you give her the one thing most men don't: authentic connection. So next time you find yourself tempted to say those words, bite your tongue. Remember the Stoic life. Hold your ground. Look her in the eye and speak like a man who belongs. Because you do. 6. I'm scared you'll leave me. Never tell a woman, "I'm scared you'll leave me." The moment you do, you surrender control and hand over all the power in the relationship. Whether you realize it or not, you're confessing a deep-seated fear, one that speaks not of love, but of weakness. This admission shifts the dynamic from masculine leadership to emotional dependency. Women pick up on this instantly, even if they don't say it. It may seem harmless, but it reveals an insecurity that's unattractive. Every man feels vulnerable at times. We all have moments of doubt, wondering if she's slipping away or losing interest. That's normal. What isn't normal, what isn't acceptable, is vocalizing that fear in a way that reeks of desperation. When you say, "I'm scared you'll leave me," it pushes her further away, not closer. Why? Because it shows that you're ungrounded, that your emotional stability hinges on her staying. Women don't want to feel like they're responsible for keeping you together. They're looking for strength, for confidence, for a man who stands firm even when the storms of life threaten. In a relationship, your strength and groundedness are the foundation. Once you start showing signs of self-doubt, you undermine everything that drew her to you in the first place. This is where many men fail. They mistake vulnerability for emotional weakness. Being vulnerable doesn't mean unloading your fears and anxieties onto her, expecting her to fix you. It's not about seeking validation or trying to get reassurance that she won't leave. Real vulnerability is owning your emotions without allowing them to control you. In fact, being emotionally needy is a surefire way to push her away. A woman can tell when a man is genuinely vulnerable versus when he's simply looking for her to soothe his insecurities. Here's the harsh reality. If a woman decides to leave, no amount of pleading or fear-based statements will change that. In fact, Showing her your fear only accelerates the process. It's draining. It's unattractive. It shows that you lack the emotional stability she needs from a partner. As a man, you must be a pillar of strength. If you feel her slipping away, observe calmly. Stay grounded. Don't panic. Don't speak from fear, but from a place of clarity, of confidence. I'm scared you'll leave me. Signals to her that you've lost the frame of the relationship. And once that happens, the attraction fades quickly. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Your thoughts must be grounded in strength, not fear. Stick to the Stoic principles. Focus on what you can control, your own mindset, your own emotions. Never let your emotional well-being be dependent on anyone else. In the end, your self-assurance, your stability, is what will make you truly attractive, not your fears. If you've made it this far, you're starting to see the difference between emotional dependence and true leadership. Don't let fear control your interactions. Stay grounded, stay strong, and always lead with confidence. If you're ready to break free from insecurity and master your emotional state, comment below, I lead with strength, not fear. Let's build something greater together. 7. I'm nothing without you. In relationships, one of the quickest ways to destroy a woman's attraction is by saying, I'm nothing without you. While these words might sound romantic in movies, in reality, they signal weakness, emotional dependency, and a lack of self-worth. Think about it when you say this. You're not expressing deep love. You're practically giving her the message that she's more valuable than you. You put her on a pedestal, shifting the power dynamics in her favour, which is a surefire way to make her lose respect for you. A woman is naturally drawn to strength, confidence, and emotional stability. When you say, I'm nothing without you, you're not being vulnerable. You're signalling that you have no life, no purpose outside of her, and that kills attraction faster than anything. The blessing of Stoicism lies in knowing your own worth and maintaining your personal value regardless of external circumstances. A modern Stoic never lets his sense of self be shaken by his relationship with anyone. A man who truly knows his value doesn't need to convince anyone of it, especially not through emotional dependency. Instead, he shows through his actions that he has his own mission, his own purpose, and his own identity. You must remember this when you make her the center of your world. You're indirectly telling her, I have nothing else going for me. At first, it might feel flattering for her to be your whole world, but that quickly becomes pressure she doesn't want and weakness she doesn't respect. This dynamic always plays out the same. A man gets into a relationship, slowly drops his goals, his friends, his hobbies, and all he talks about is her. Eventually, she starts pulling away. She becomes distant, less affectionate, and less invested. And when he finally asks what's wrong, she simply replies, I don't know, you've just changed. Of course, he has changed. He gave up everything that made him interesting, everything that made him a man with purpose. He stopped being someone with a mission and became someone orbiting around her. Women want to be part of a man's world. They don't want to become his entire world. That's where the problem lies. When you act like your life has no meaning without her, you unintentionally place her in a role she never asked for your emotional savior. That's not attraction, that's pressure. And pressure always kills passion, replacing it with pity. If you've ever said or thought this phrase, it's time to realign yourself with the core principles of Stoicism. The old Stoic knew that before anyone else, you need to be your own person, with your own life and goals. You were someone before her, and you'll still be someone without her. That's the truth. Forgetting this truth means forgetting the very essence of what made her attracted to you in the first place. Never say, I'm nothing without you. Instead, show her that you want her, not that you need her. That's what keeps attraction alive. Alright, guys, before I wrap this up, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch. It means a lot that you're here, committed to bettering yourself and your relationships. Now, listen, The bottom line here is simple. If you keep using these phrases, you're only holding yourself back. Attraction isn't something you get just by being nice or showing vulnerability. It's about showing strength, leadership, and self-worth. Real attraction is earned, not given. So, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever caught yourself saying one of these things? If you have, I want you to understand this. You have the power to change your approach and shift your mindset. You can stop sabotaging your relationships and start building genuine attraction by being unapologetically confident and true to yourself. I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with your experiences or anything you'd like to add. I read every comment and respond as much as I can because this isn't just about a channel. It's about us building a real community of men who support each other and grow together. Remember, your story isn't written in stone. You have the power to change it. Take control, own your strength, and be unapologetically you. Now, let's continue this conversation in the comments. I'm here to help you level up, and I'm ready to walk this journey with you. Catch you in the next one.